horror short stories. Spooky time on Forest Tales channel. The date. Jimmy was an extroverted guy, lots of friends and parties every weekend. He loved Halloween because there was always a good party somewhere. And for the past 3 years, he spent at Tom's house, in the middle of nowhere and miles away from the next neighbor. Good for loud music and people. He was going there tonight, but only later. This Halloween was going to be different. Jimmy had a date with a girl from a dating app, Gabrielle. They had been chatting for over a month now, and that was the first time he was going to meet her. And because he liked her company so much, Jimmy invited Gaby to their party. She asked him to meet up with her first, and if their date was good, she would go with him to the party. If he doesn't like her already and isn't trying so hard to meet her in person, Jimmy would probably leave the date for another day. But Gaby caught his attention. She was blonde, brown feline eyes that resembled him a puma, a sexy smile, and amazing body by pictures. Jimmy was handsome, but he wasn't used to dating such hot girls. Jimmy was going to pick her up at her apartment and take her to a bar for some drinks. Then, with some drinks and maybe playing on the pool table, she would be comfortable enough to go to the party. Jimmy arrived at her apartment at 8 p.m., and she came out as pretty as he expected, wearing black leather pants and a silk red top that let her back uncovered. She had a snake tattoo all over her spine and a red rose on the side of her neck. She came into his car, and after a quick hi, she stealed a kiss and blinked with a sassy smile. Bold, Jimmy liked her. While he was driving to the bar, she suggested them to go to a party where her friends were, and maybe, if they were in the mood, they could all go to Tom party later. Jimmy liked that vibe and immediately agreed. Gaby made him drive to the border of the town, into a trailer's parking lot that looked empty and sad. She told him to park and get out of the car. That was weird, but he was really into her. Gaby grabbed his hand and pulled him to the woods, where they found a fire and a lot of people drinking and dancing. Jimmy was hungry, but there was no food. He could eat in Tom's house, no big deal. Gaby got him a beer and started dancing around him, teasing him with some eventual kisses on his neck. Jimmy was so entertained that he didn't notice the guy after him. His mouth was covered with a piece of fabric, and he passed out. Jimmy woke up to an unforgettable scene. Gaby stared at him with two other girlfriends. His clothes were on the dirty floor of a trailer, and a third unknown girlfriend were on her knees, drinking his blood from a wound in his thigh. He wasn't feeling any pain, and for some reason, that girl feeding on him was stimulating his body. Gaby and the other two approached him and bit him where the blood was more concentrated. They bit his neck and chest and started drinking. Jimmy felt dizzy quickly, but that was so satisfying that he could only smile. His mind went to happy places, and he only wanted to please them more and more. That was weird. He couldn't think straight, but he was enjoying so much. At 9:30, Jimmy arrived at Tom's party. He was pale and confused and had 4 girls with him, so he was received as a champion by Tom and their friends. Jimmy tried to remember something important he had to tell Tom, but it was escaping from his mind. He only could think about being alone with Gaby again. Next morning, Gaby woke up in a good mood, feeling refreshed and satisfied. She was in the king's bed at the house party she went to for Halloween. She only had a few more hours on this side before she had to go back home, down there on that damned fire pit. So she looked at all these beautiful women sharing the bed with her, glad that they could return to the Hell Realms rejuvenated and powerful. They get up and moved as soon as the sun went down, dodging the humans thirsty for them that were spread across the mansion and all over the backyard, too weak to get up, but too strong to succumb, and were sucked into the earth in time to return, while the veil was still thin enough. Follow @Forrest the Storyteller in Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for more. Check out our website to read more tales, or at forestplumtales.com.